Smash that limiter!
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hang on a minute. There we go. Now desktop audio is not muted anymore, so you can say hello again, Spliffy.
Hello, how are you?
I'm gonna need to bring you back a little bit. You're peeking a little bit there. Well, welcome to the first podcast of Limited Basher 2025.
On Australia Day of all days.
Yeah, on Australia. We didn't actually plan to have this done.
Yes, we did. We aligned the planets.
Oh, okay. We aligned it, did we? So
Yes.
So start of this year's been pretty crazy, hasn't it, Spliffy?
It has been pretty mental, yes.
It's been nuts. I got fucking COVID. It finally got me. It took me 5 years. I was immune for 5 years, and then I got it. I had one trip to the city, came back with it. You fucking disease.
See, that's your problem. You went to the city.
Fucking mongrels, pieces of shits that walk around that city. Fuck you. You get me sick, you wankers. So it really, really sucked because, like, I was getting sick and tired of the holidays, like, because it was really busy. There's like so much shit was going on, and then like I get COVID, and I just wanted to get back to work and just work, and then I was sick for like a week and a bit.
Yeah, you were off for like a week and a half.
Yeah. On the bright side, though, I've been spreading democracy across the universe.
We have been spreading democracy across the universe.
Fuck me, I love that game.
I can't get enough of it.
It's just you never get bored of it. It's just so fun. Except the Terminators. I don't like the Terminators that much.
The Terminators are a little overwhelming. I don't understand how we were handling them so well in the beginning, and then all of a sudden they just became so freaking hard.
It's because we were doing it on easier difficulties now. We're doing it on hard.
I suppose,
we're on
yeah.
extreme and above now, so... But those fucking... It's the stalkers, man. They always fucking get me. Like...
Oh, yeah, the stalkers are annoying.
I will be holding him back and holding my own. I'm like, yep. I got control of this. I got control. The raves, they're being held back. Next minute, just get fucking stabbed in the back by this fucking stalkers being invisible and snuck behind me and just fucking impaled me with his legs. And like, once they hit you, you can't do anything about it because then they hit you with their tongue. That's fuck, man. It's so annoying. The tongue also goes through the shield, FYI, as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so when they knock you back with their tongue, it still goes through the shield. So
yeah, right.
They're really, really OP. I actually find them harder to deal with than like Bile Titans and that.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's fair.
They take
Bile Titans are like...
They take 2 shots with the crossbow as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, everything else is like 1-shot kill. If you hit it in the right spot. But that thing, like, it doesn't matter where. It's 2 shots. Like, fuck's sake. So talk about you, Spliffy. What's new in 2025 for you?
Just work, and that's pretty much all I've been doing. Lots of things as well. I am relearning a song after not playing it for about 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm relearning the song YYZ by Rush.
YYZ.
Yes.
I don't think I've heard that.
You do or have or haven't?
I haven't. No.
Yeah. It's Rush is a band from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
They're a progressive rock band.
Oh yeah.
And basically when I was in high school for my HSC, my guitar tutor came in / my guitar teacher came in and said, "I got a perfect song for you to play for your HSC." And I thought, "Oh yeah, what's this?" It's like, "We're gonna play this song. It starts off in 10/4." I thought, "Uh-oh." That's not common time signature. That sounds difficult.
Yeah.
And so we got through and we played it, and I played it at my HSC, and I think it was actually it's probably that was probably the best. That was probably my peak guitaring was about 10 years ago. I've improved in other ways since then, but like that song is really difficult.
Yeah.
And I want to relearn it this year and be able to play it again.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sounds cool. What else been going on? Like anything new? Anything like that?
Well, I saw last night that Audient had released a new 8-channel audio interface, which is really exciting because I'm looking at it, I'm thinking this
Yeah.
is literally everything I've ever wanted. Over the last like 2 years, I was even looking at I can't remember the name of the brand, but the
Yeah.
this other brand that came out with essentially this other thing, which was a Arturia Rig 16, I think is what they were called, and it's
Yeah.
essentially 16 inputs into a single rack, and then you can route that into your DAW, which is like that's huge. 16 channels in one unit. That's amazing. The
Yeah.
most, to put it into comparison, the most you can get, the most common one, the most common large scale that you can get for beginners and whatnot, or consumer whatever, is 8 channels. So basically, doubling that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The only problem is the Arturia Rig 16 requires your motherboard to have Thunderbolt 4, which is a protocol
Yeah.
for it to transfer information. But I don't know if my computer actually
Nah,
does that or supports it
it
essentially.
it wouldn't. It wouldn't. You need a you need a current gen motherboard to do that, I think.
Yeah, I figured as much. And they're
Yeah.
about, I looked it up, they're about $500 or $600. So I thought, that's really
Yeah,
expensive.
mine was 700, my motherboard.
Yeah.
Mind you that the only reason why I bought my motherboard was because it was white.
Yeah.
So this was the only reason why I got it.
Yeah.
That's the reason why it was also expensive, because I didn't want a B motherboard. Because the white equivalent for the B motherboard didn't have the features that I wanted, and the number one
Yeah.
feature that I wanted on motherboard was a clear CMOS button, because it is much easier to press a button on the back of the motherboard than it is to fucking jump the two connectors on the bottom of the motherboard.
Yeah, geez.
Yeah, especially since I like to do overclocking and stuff like that. Which segue. Okay, so you know
Yes.
how when I first built my computer,
Yeah.
I even got Goose to help me with this, and it kind of was balked on the get go, right? So the hardware's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So I've spent a crazy amount of money on this PC. I have like not top of the range stuff. I mean, I've got top of the range AMD graphics card. I got 709 XTX Sapphire, and I've got the 7800 X3D CPU, which is a really really good gaming performance CPU. Not as good as the brand new 9800 X3D. I was gonna get what Ray's got, which is the 7950 X3D, but that's $1,000 fucking CPU. So
Yeah, right.
I didn't, I couldn't justify that. Plus, also, if I was gonna get a production valued CPU, like a CPU really good with multi-threading and multiple tasks, like video rendering and all that sort of stuff, I would have just got the 7900X instead of the 3D variant, because the 7900X is better at actually production side of things than the 3D version, because it's a higher clock speed and all that sort of stuff. Better
Yeah,
multi-threading
right.
and all that sort of stuff. Same price, pretty much. So I went with the 7800 X3D because I do video editing, but I know that it's, I was doing a video editing on a
On
what
a
was this?
14-year-old broken laptop
Yeah,
that, that had no screen attached to it.
Well, that was the original one. Yeah, I was video editing on that. That thing used to fucking take all day to video, a 15-minute video.
Yeah.
Anyway. And then I went to Ray's laptop, gaming laptop, which had a 7th gen i7 in it.
Yeah.
With a 2060 integrated graphics. So that actually didn't do too bad. The problem with that laptop was it was Dell, and Dell's crap, and Dell overheats. So it would get really, really hot, and it would slow its clock speeds down. Anyway, I used to have to fuck with that computer a lot. And I also used to have to fuck with my old Asus laptop that, yes, the screen was broken and all that sort of shit, and I couldn't really use it. And I disabled all the fucking anti-overclocking software on it, and so now I can really ramp this cunt up just to keep up with modern gaming. And I did. I used to actually legitimately keep up. Actually
That's just
performs.
nuts.
It actually performs better, like with that old school fucking. It had a 880 nm graphics and it had an i7, I think 3rd gen i7 in it, and it did used to keep up. I actually found it performs better than the more modern Dell G7 that Ray's laptop is, which is really funny. Like, yeah, there were games that I just simply couldn't open or run like at all. I couldn't do VR, I couldn't do this, couldn't do that. But in terms of like, you know, other games, it would like keep up pretty well. Like I was getting over 100 frames in any 1080p fucking game that I could run. So fuck, that's pretty good, you know. And it never really got hot either. Besides, like, you know, I used to have fans all on it as well, and I used to just But like Ray's laptop, I used to have the chassis open just so it would fucking cool down because it would cook inside itself. It's a piece of shit. Never buy Dell products. Never fucking buy them. Anyway, so yeah, and then obviously I built my dream PC, which I will show, and then I'll go back to explaining what I'm going on about originally. Okay. No, that's the wrong one. Here we go. Hang on a minute. It's just just go properties and I think it's that one. Yeah, there it is.
Don't dox
Okay, cool.
yourself.
I didn't. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
So in 2025, originally I had, when I moved out to where I live now, I had that monitor that's on the left there, which is a LG something or other. I've forgotten the name. It's a really, really good monitor. Has like true color accuracy and all that sort of shit. Doesn't go up on the hertz. It's like 100 hertz, which is fine. Nothing wrong with it. It's 1080p, not like nothing special. And then I just recently bought this one here, which is a 32-inch Asus ROG 180 hertz monitor. I got it because it was relatively good for the price of it. The 280 hertz one's like fucking an extra $200, which is ridiculous. $200 for an extra 60 hertz.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's not worth it. I don't think so. I really don't think. I don't think anything over probably 180 hertz in any scenario is necessary unless you're doing competitive gaming. So as you can see, I've got my HOTA stuff here, which I will eventually upgrade to better quality stuff. And I've got my old K100. She's chipping there. I'm so sad. And yes, my wire management's a bit all over the place, but whatever, I don't care. It'll get fixed up when I get more space. And then as you can see, there's my beast of a PC there. The thing's massive. As you can see, it's got 4 fans on the bottom, 2 fans at the back, and then it's got 6 fans on the top in a push-pull configuration. Don't necessarily need to have a push-pull configuration. It actually doesn't really improve your airflow that much. To be honest, I just did it because of rank value. And then you've got another 3 fans here, and then I put little Blakey spots up there because there's no real point bringing air in here because these fans are here anyway. So, and then that's my 7900X 7900 X3D. Oh, fucking 7800 X3Ds in there with a Lian Li LCD screen cooler, which works really well. I just hate the software. And then I've got a 7900 XTX graphics card, which is the AMD's best version. And to be honest, it is a beast of a fucking graphics card. It has a crazy fucking wattage, like it can get up to 400 watts or something stupid. Like, not exactly, don't quote me on that, but it can get up there. Now, all these components, I've just recently tested them yesterday. So I've been having this issue when I first built the computer. I run into a problem where I will turn on the computer and everything freezes and nothing works and nothing opens. I could press the Windows key and the Windows key will come up. I couldn't right click on things. I couldn't open things. And then I was like, okay, so it must be doing like an update thing and it's installing shit and whatever. So I'll just leave it. And then I come back and like it hadn't changed. And this was just after I built it. And it was only after I installed Windows. So I'm like, well, I know it's not hardware related at this stage. It's 100% something to do with Windows. So then I asked Goose for help, and he was very kind and helped me sort of go through it. And he was really puzzled as well because he's never seen this happen before either. And Goose is like, he's an expert. To put it bluntly, he's an expert at this shit, PCs and like troubleshooting and all that sort of stuff. It's kind of his job. Well, it is, but he's obviously does a lot more complicated shit. Anyway, so we then decided that it wouldn't hurt to do a fresh Windows install after I just installed. This is like day 2 of building my computer. So I uninstalled Windows, wiped the drives, reinstalled fresh install. I then used all the background keys and all that sort of shit to get into Windows backdoor and disable fucking everything. Disabled auto updates, disable everything. The only things that I would let it update was the security software stuff, which you'd want to do because it keeps the malware and Windows Defender all up to date and all that sort of shit. So I did all that, and then it was fine. But as you know, Spliffy, every now and then I'll turn on my computer and it will do that thing again.
Yeah.
And I will have to turn the computer off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on a couple times, and then eventually it will work again. And usually the way I would know that the computer's running again, it will go dook dook, like I've plugged the USB in on my headset.
Okay.
So that means something, obviously it's working. So anyway, it's been doing that on and off for ages. I then like the last straw was this week. And it was happening every day I turned on the computer. I'm just like, okay, I'm getting fucking over this shit. So what I did is I went through and I disabled even the compulsory security updates of Windows. I then disabled every single update on every single software I have on the computer, just in case any of it's fucking with it. Now, once I did that, I then went on to my BIOS and reverted everything to default settings. So I got rid of more overclocks, all that sort of stuff, turned off Expo, all that sort of shit. Then I started testing every single component on my computer to test to see whether it's hardware related. Is the power not being produced enough? Is the graphics card bogging down? Is the CPU bogging down? What's going on? So then I started testing every single component to rule all that out. That was fine. And then I did it at default settings. So then I know there's nothing wrong factory with the items. And then I turned the overclocking on, retested it to see whether maybe there's instability issues on that side. No, all good. All running fine. No complaints. Anyway, the last test I did was memory testing on the RAM. Now, I have the same RAM that Ray's got, and one of her RAM sticks actually failed. So I thought it's possible that maybe a RAM issue. So I tested the RAM, and it was fine. Anyway, coincidentally, I ended up doing this process. I ended up finding what the issue was. And so I went into Event Viewer and I was going through the logs of the RAM tests. Good. RAM worked perfectly fine with Expo or without Expo and with Expo enabled. So I'm like, okay, that's good. And then I just coincidentally just happened to see a whole heap of fucking errors in the logs under system drivers. And I'm like, here we go. I found it. So what was happening was it is 100% software related. It is not hardware related issues. It was basically the AMD chipset driver, and this was the culprit. It also was having issues with the AMD LAN and Wi-Fi drivers as well, but it was mainly the chipset drivers installing. So it was updating itself and it updated itself and it was trying to install the chipset drivers, and it kept failing and failing and failing and failing. So every time I was turning on the computer, it was doing that and then failing at doing it. So I was like, okay, here's the problem. So I then did some little bit of investigating in the background and found that the problem wasn't actually the chipset drivers, it was fucking Armoury Crate. ASUS Armoury Crate is probably the shittest software in the world. I fucking hate it. And the only reason why I had it installed was so I can control the RGB on my motherboard through IQ. And that's literally all I downloaded it for. And I did disable the auto update and install settings on Armoury Crate for installing drivers because I wanted to do it manually and use the Adrenaline software instead because AMD is much more... AMD software is good. There's nothing wrong with it. It runs really well. But ASUS stuff, no, doesn't run well at all. They just, I don't know, their hardware's really good and they're really good at innovating, but fuck me, their software is shit. Anyway, so what I did this last night is I have an app called Revo Uninstaller. And basically what that allows me to do is completely wipe the computer of every single fucking file that this program creates. So you go into it, you select the program you want to uninstall, you select uninstall, it will go through the files, find the uninstall directory, uninstall it through the program's uninstall, and then it will scan your entire computer and every single folder pathway for that software, it will find it, and then you select it all and then you delete it all. And then it gives you a completely clean removal. Because you'll be surprised when you uninstall programs, it will leave all that shit behind, and it eventually will blow up your storage. So I did that, and I manually installed the chipset driver through AMD's website. So I searched my motherboard and got the drivers for it, and then installed it manually, and that worked really well. And yeah, I successfully installed it, and since I've done that, I haven't had the issue.
Nice. Hell yeah.
So that's a lesson learnt. I was told by other people that Armoury Crate is probably going to cause issues, and 100% right. But the thing is, I didn't actually install Armoury Crate. It kind of self-installed itself, and I didn't realize it was there to begin with, like when Goose and I had that issue. But now that I think about it, because when I started this computer originally with the Windows Update, it automatically installs the ASUS suite. Armoury Crate is like a part of that. And I didn't do what Ray did. And Ray, she set up a computer a little bit more what Goose does. And that is pretty much does everything offline. There's a command that you go and it goes onto the server and you can manually like install like heaps of softwares like Discord or Steam, the whole works in like an offline setting, not through Microsoft. So you don't even have to like, so the way it works is like you get started on it and then it comes up with this menu and you literally tick boxes of all the software that you want installed on your computer. And then you just fucking click yes. And then it will just do it all. And then, so I hit the keyboard. Then it will just do it all. And you don't have to like go on Google Chrome or anything like that and install everything manually one at a time. This thing will just fucking bulk do it. The second time round that I did the Windows install, I did do that. And then also there was a few other programs I was missing. I couldn't remember what they were. And then Ray helped me get that menu back up, and then I did it that way. And then second time I installed Armoury Crate because I was having issues with getting my RGB to sync up. I tried using OpenRPG, but it just wouldn't talk to the graphics card RGB lights, and nothing. Even Lee doesn't talk to on the front of my case. There's a LED strip that comes with the case on the 011 Dynamic XL, and it doesn't talk to it. Like nothing talks to it. It's fucking weird. It's like hooked up to an RGB header and everything. Nothing will talk to it. So I have to like manually change the colors on the case itself. It's so fucking weird. I don't get it. It comes up on IQ now, and it came up on Armoury Crate when I opened that up. It would say addressable RGB light strip, but you couldn't change the colors. You couldn't do anything with it. So it was fucking bizarre. because I originally had it hooked up to the Linear Lee controller. That didn't work. And then I had it hooked up to, now it's hooked up directly to the motherboard. RGB header, and that doesn't work either. Like, whatever. So I've just got it as like an RGB color stripes. So it just goes down and changes color each time. Because I went for an ice theme build because it's a white case. My graphics card's the only thing that's not white, but the gunmetal grey kind of looks cool with it anyway. So, just further information for people that run into that same issue that I did.
Yeah, then someone will likely come into that problem.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of people who use RGB is a lot and kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, but people are getting sick and tired of it now as well because there's too many connectors. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I'm not a huge fan of RGB at all. I hate RGB actually because I don't like it. It's annoying. Leave me alone. These lights need to leave me alone. They're just annoying me.
when you build your next case, you should go for the Arctic Freezer 2.
Why is that?
Go Be Quiet fans. Oh, because it's no RGB.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like really, really. It's also nice. It's a good cooler too. It's water cool. It's like AIO, but it's really, really good. Very reliable, and it keeps your computer nice and cool, and it looks nice and clean. Much better than a like. Don't get me wrong, air cooling's fine, but it's just ugly.
I like air cooling. I think air cooling looks. I like that bulky look. I like that bulky. Yeah. Like I'm not a huge fan of slick designs. I don't like them. I like bulky.
You like industrial.
Yeah, I like it because whenever I see industrial, I think, yep, that's gonna last forever. I don't have to think about that. It's not gonna keep me up at night thinking about, this is probably gonna last time it's ever gonna fucking work. Even if I just touch it, it's just gonna. It's not even just going to break. It's just going to shatter into a million pieces if I just so much as fucking touch it. But if it looks like the size of a fucking cube, it's like, well, there's no problem with that, is there? I can touch it, I can throw it on the ground, no problem. It'll keep working, like whatever, man. I can keep doing my thing, it keeps doing its thing. That's all I want.
The reliability of their cooling towers are next to none. Like if they stop working, they're still working. People don't realize that. Like if the fans on the tower stop working because you've got case fans, the cooler's still working. Like, and even if you have all your fans not working, it's still radiating the heat and whisking it away from your CPU. So it's still cooling your CPU. Not as effectively, but it's still cooling it. Like, it's just like a car radiator that's still like removing the heat when it's stationary. You can't go wrong with that. But the thing is just a lot of cases these days just aren't designed for air cooling. So it's just like, yeah.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Like, you can fit one of mine, but that's because my case is fucking...
Yeah, because your case is huge.
Mine's a full tower, yeah, it's massive.
I mean, okay, so if it's... If your computer's not designed for air cooling, then how can it be designed for modern GPUs? Or, like, future GPUs?
Well, because most people are going AIO, which is an all-in-one cooler, So basically, what it is, it's a water cooler. It's got fluid in it, and it's got a pump in it, and it just moves the fluid around off of a contact plate that connects through thermal paste to your CPU, which then takes the heat away. It is it's more efficient at cooling. No, it is. It's more efficient than cooling than an air cooler. Just because water's just so much better at conducting. In saying that though, an air cooler is still pretty efficient. Like they're both pretty good options. Like they'll both work. The downside with air cooling, there has a small thermal capacity, so there's only so much heat it can whisk away. Where an AIO or custom loop scenario, because there's more fluid, there's more thermal capacity, it can actually deal with a lot more heat, or more volume of heat, I should say. and getting rid of it. Like my computer sits at 50. Like today's gonna be a 45-degree day. It's gonna be fucking hot today, and it's already. Oh, I actually be able to tell you the temperature. Give me a sec. It's for a snake. So it is at the moment 32 degrees in here. Right, so it's 32 degrees.
Yeah.
And my CPU and GPU is running at. I mean, mind you, it's not under significant load because what we're doing doesn't really make it work at all. Is 55 to 40 degrees C. And I've never seen this PC above 75, even on a 30-degree day without the air conditioning on. And mind you, I have my snake's tank lives in here as well. So when the heater goes and then the heat from the computer goes, it gets quite toasty in here. But yeah, I've never seen it above 75. So yeah, it works really, really well. Mind you, though, I do have the case has a lot of airflow, which helps as well. So it removes a lot of heat. That's what happens when you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 fans.
Yeah, that would do it. Jesus.
So yeah. So yeah, I like AIOs. They aren't okay. Reliability wise, they're not as reliable as an air cooler because, like I said, air cooler fan stopped working. It still works. Pump stops working at AIO, stops working.
Yeah.
But this could last the life of the computer though. Still, that's the
Dude,
thing.
actually, is a question I have for you
Yeah.
too. What would you say the lifespan of a computer is?
It depends who you ask. The question. Some people it's fucking a year.
Really? What the
Yeah,
hell?
yeah. A lot of people will upgrade their
A
computer.
year?
Yeah. A lot of people upgrade their computer within a year. It's ridiculous. Like the
What?
new, so like the new 50 series graphics cards coming out, right?
Yeah.
And it's coming out on the 26th, and it's coming out now. It's out today. So the 50 series graphics cards, it's a PCIe 5 true graphics card, so obviously it has more lanes to access and whatnot.
Yeah.
So people that are getting this graphics card are automatically changing their motherboards out to be able to be suitable. If they don't already have a PCIe Gen 5, they're already replacing their CPU. Like, honestly, now's kind of the time to upgrade if you've got a system like yours. Because two things. 40 series graphics cards are now going to come down. AMD graphics cards are going to come down. Older gen CPUs are also going to come down, so all those prices are going to come down. So it's going to be more affordable. So people, they're going to upgrade to the last generation, like the gen I'm on, or the newer gen, which is like the 90 series graphics cards, or the CPUs, or the 14th gens Intel CPUs. But then you get those people that literally once something new comes out, they buy it and they sell the other one. They just always keep constant. I think it's dumb.
Nah, it sounds like
I think
a
it's
waste
really,
of
really
time
dumb
and money.
because I believe that with my current setup, unless things drastically change, which I don't believe things can get that much different in 10 years' time, I think your computer can easily last 10 years if you look after it. Easily.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the same thing because Windows 10, I love Windows 10. I think Windows 10 is great. May have had a rocky start, but I think it's fantastic now. It's coming to the end of life support in October, 14th of October. And I was doing some research last night. I found out that the CPU that I have supposedly isn't supported by Windows 11, but I was also doing a little bit more research before the podcast, and essentially it means it'll work. It won't have any major issues. It just probably won't have access to certain features, which is making me think, okay, maybe I can get away with it. Because if it turns out that it won't support it, because essentially what I have is a Ryzen 1600X. So essentially, when Ryzen first came out in like 2017, my first thought was, okay, that's what I'm going to build my computer with. Um, and I actually had the intention of building the computer for Anthem, which unfortunately flopped the first day it came out. Um, so I built the computer for that game, and I've just held on to I haven't upgraded anything except for my boot drive and my hard disk drive, just for more space. Um, but if it turns out that my CPU isn't supported by Windows 11 at all, I may have to do one of two things. I may have to upgrade my BIOS to support to support newer generations of CPUs, and then buy a new CPU, or build a whole new system.
Yeah, it's a hard one because you could easily update your BIOS and put like the latest AM, because AM4's, like I said, AM4's still supported to this day.
Yeah.
They brought out a new CPU for AM4 last year.
If I just basically go for like the best one for that,
but you will need to upgrade your graphics card as well.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I was thinking about upgrading my graphics card as well to like maybe like a really nice AMD graphics card.
Yeah, like
the only thing is, I'm not sure if my motherboard will. I don't think my motherboard will bottleneck either of those. I don't think. Oh well.
It might do. It depends what PCIe gen your if it's 4 lanes, if it's a 4-lane motherboard, you'll be fine.
Yes, it is.
If it's 4 lanes, it'll be fine. Because like I said, the only 5th lane GPUs come out is the 50 series. So that's like fifth lanes have been out for like at least 5 years now. Like motherboards have been having 5 lanes in their motherboards, but like nothing's been able to use them. So
yeah, right.
I mean, even like 5th gen fucking NVMe drives like have only really just started coming popular now because they come down in price. So yeah, you'll be fine. Like a 7600X XT would work really well with you. It's like a good sort of mid-range sort of thing. Obviously,
I don't mind mid-range.
I know you don't like I know you.
I've never found
NVIDIA.
the super top end graphics card to be really worth it, because I mean, like, what do you do with it? Like, you turn all your graphics up to the highest setting, but then it's sort of the what's it? I can't remember. The notality. That's not it.
For
Notoriety.
your use case scenario, honestly, like even the mid-tier graphics card, you'd still be able to have everything on ultra anyway.
Probably.
No, you will. It's not probably, you will. Easily.
Oh.
Because you play on 1080p, so you easily be out of everything on ultra.
Yeah.
And
1080p is king to me. I don't like anything above 1080p.
Yeah, if you play on 1080p, then yeah, you're right. The higher end graphics cards are a complete waste of money for you. I play even 1440p on this graphics card is a bit of a waste of time for it because it's designed for 4K. The only reason why I didn't get 4K monitor is because the games don't always run well in 4K. And it got nothing to do with the GPU or the monitor itself. It's the games, like the way the games sort of work.
And optimize. It's all about optimization at those
exactly.
at that resolution.
That's
because
the only reason why. But the thing is, where I use my top of the range graphics card for, though, I mean, it's not top, but top of the range for AMD. The what I use it for is video rendering, because obviously that is also CPU bound as well with video rendering, but you still need the graphics to be able to calculate the resolutions and all that sort of shit. So I can edit at 1440p without any issues, and it takes like instead of like all day, it takes like under an hour to like this podcast, which is an hour long, takes me on average 15 to 20 minutes to render in 1440p.
Yeah, right.
Now I would never be able to do that on my old laptop.
No way.
Yeah.
I remember you like spending like it's like a Sunday, you're
Yeah.
video editing, and you're like,
Mind
yep,
you-
that's all you're doing all
mind you,
day. You couldn't play video games on Sundays.
I not only can fucking do that, but I also can game with everything
Oh.
upscaled while it's rendering. So
Yeah,
it'll still
nice.
take like 20 to 30 minutes when I'm gaming. A little bit longer than when I'm not, but I can do 2 tasks at the same time. It won't bog down my computer. Like when I'm doing that, I'm watching my CPU. My CPU is like 80%, and my GPU is at like fucking 60 to 70% usage. And I'm doing 2 things at once. I'm gaming and video editing. Like the days of having multiple PCs for streaming and gaming are not there behind us. You do not need
Which
them
is
anymore.
nice.
Which is amazing.
I'm curious to see where it goes in terms of like. I wonder if the lifespan of computers actually gets longer as computer technology becomes more
It should
advanced.
do.
Because, like,
It should do, yeah. I think now it's just all AI stuff. Like the new 50 series graphics cards. All
yes,
AI
that's the thing.
incorporated
That's
stuff,
the one
yeah.
thing that sort of concerns me is the
Yeah.
AI stuff. So it's
Um,
like, yeah, we need your computer to run our AI service. It's like, well,
Yeah, basically.
why?
Yeah, yeah, I know it's a bit.
I
Yeah.
don't want this.
But yeah. So yeah, I'm happy. The only thing I'm not happy with my computer was I paid extra for the cable mod cables, and it didn't have enough white cables.
Oh, dude, that
to
sucks.
I like matched it up and everything. Like I picked the correct pack that has everything in it, and so I ended up having to use because I have the RX. My power supply is over 1,000 watt one, which is more than enough to do what I do. Like I don't need a 1,500 watt or anything like that. If I had like a higher end CPU, then yeah, I would probably, or 4090 or 5090 GPU. I definitely would need a 1,500 watt power supply, but 1,000 watts fine for what I do. Anyway. So I didn't have enough white, so I'm missing one less white cable. I can see on the picture that I've got here. So I didn't have enough for the GPU. And I didn't have enough for the CPU. Actually, I didn't have any for the CPU. That really pissed me off. Yeah, that kind of really angered me. The CPU. The one that was labeled CPU wasn't actually correct. It wasn't a CPU cable. It didn't fit. And I'm glad it didn't fit because it means that it wasn't keyed correctly, which means it would have fucking set something on fire.
Oh.
So I had to use that's the Corsair because I have an RX Corsair 1,000 watt power supply. And I bought the correct one, and I said to them, I'm going to get a 79XTX, which is going to need 3 power connectors, and I have a motherboard that requires 2 power connects, and I will need them because I am overclocking. And they're like, yep, that will have enough. And then it had enough cables, but they weren't the correct cables. And I asked them about it, and no, that's everything. Everything's correct. And I said, you told me that it would fit. No. And I'm like, well, how much for like that the correct connectors? Oh, we don't sell those items on the repairs department. I'm just like, fuck you. So, not a fan. So, Cable Mod, not a fan of your whoever was dealing with the customer service in that one. They fucking suck. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Like the little blacks and the whites, whatever. And the computer runs fine, so it's not the end of the world. But on a different note though, before we close up, and this is finally going to talk about something car related. Wow. Have you heard about this?
What?
So
Video goes rival.
This is the brand new 250 Ti
Oh.
I personally am not a fan of the look of them or anything like that. Anyway, so some influencers. Okay, I'm going to say this out front. I've seen their content on YouTube and that. I personally am not a fan of their content. It's just not my thing. But I am on their side when it comes to their case. and I'm also on the side of Toyota as well. Toyota and them have. No one's actually at fault here except for an unfair, like in their situation between Toyota and them, they both don't know what happened, and I'm glad Toyota ended up warranting out the problem. Now, 250.
They would have had to.
250. Yeah. This news article is full of shit. The person who wrote it doesn't have a fucking clue. And this guy here's he a fucking dropkick. Anyway, in my opinion. So 250 Toyota Prado's only just recently come out. We've already seen them around here because there's a Toyota dealership where I am. I'm not a fan of them, but anyway, each to their own. What happened was they were towing caravan and they're on the York Peninsula in South Australia, and the left-hand front bottom shock bolt came off. So the suspension collapsed on it while they were towing.
Right.
Now, this stupid news article. Now, he made a little video, like quick video here, like, oh, they're supposed to be reliable, and as you can see there, the bottom of the bolts come off and the shock's just dangling there. So he's like, Toyota's supposed to be reliable, like a quick little like joking little stab in the dark sort of thing. And then these guys got hold of it and just went to town on it. Now, for some reason, Toyota has the biggest fanboys about their cars. They think they're fucking god tier and all that sort of shit. If this happened to like a Triton or Ford Ranger in particular, people are like, oh, that's what you get for buying a Ford Ranger. I hate to say this and burst your bubble, ladies and gents, but Toyotas they're not more reliable than a lot of other car manufacturers. They are exactly the fucking same. I work on all makes and models and they're all the same. If anything, I actually see less Nissans coming in for repairs than I do Toyotas. Mind you, there is a little bit of discrepancy because there's more Toyotas on the road than there are Nissans generally. They are a popular car brand. So there is that as well. So it's not necessarily true either, but I'm just saying we don't see as much. And they are a lot around, but yeah. And I'm not saying they're better either. Anyway, so that actually happened to them. And then this news article's got onto them. And this guy in particular is like going on, well, that's what you get for like having modified suspension. You can clearly see it is modified. It's got lifted suspension, all that sort of shit. Okay, dickhead. I'm gonna be honest with you. The 250 Toyota Prado has no suspension mods because it's brand new. It has only just come out. There's nothing. You can't get suspension mods. The only thing they did was add big tires, which it's only like one. I think it was 33 inch tires from a 32. So it's 1 inch difference, which isn't going to affect anything. And then, yeah, they just made this whole expose saying that they're lying and all sort of crap. And it's a load of shit. Problem is people saying, oh, you should sue them for defamation. Unfortunately, in our country, news articles and that have privilege, so they can say whatever they want and there's no repercussions for it. Just kind of sucks, but it's just the way Australian law works. They actually have privilege to lie about you, and there's nothing you can do. You can't sue them for defamation. Yeah,
which is very unfair.
It is unfair because they can ruin your like reputation, and they've done two things. Okay, now they've made these two influencers skyrocket in numbers because people know who they are, but they've also been getting a lot of abuse from people that think that person's right when they're not. So when a new car comes out to the market, and this also goes for the new Toyota Tundra, there is usually no mods because the third-party manufacturers that make these modifications, like Old Mate Emu, TJM, ARB, all that sort of stuff, haven't had time with the vehicle to be able to create and manufacture modifications to go on that vehicle, being bull bars, suspension lifts, you name it. Because Toyota don't let these manufacturers have the car before release because they don't want potential leakage of information on the car before it's actually properly released. So they don't do that. It's the same with a lot of like manufacturers and electronics as well. Sorry about being whited out. Let me fix that a little bit. So it's just poor journalism. The journalist didn't do research. He doesn't know what he's on about. But the problem is he's gone and thrown all this shit at these two people, which is completely false. And that's what annoys me. Is he turned around and said, hey, you know, like, you guys carry on about the reliability and all that sort of stuff and blah, blah, blah. Well, no, they didn't do anything wrong in that sense. They did exactly what the cars like designed to do, is design a tow. They're not towing outside the limits. Yeah, it was just one of those things that just happened, and it does happen, you know. Not every car is built perfectly. Things go wrong. And when they got to, I think it was Kadena Toyota dealership, they replaced it all under warranty. They sent it back off to Japan to see why it failed, to see whether something went wrong, just to, if it happens in the future, they can fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I'm glad Toyota didn't see this like article and was like, "What the fuck? Like, I can't believe these guys are like bagging us," sort of thing, and then being dicks to them about. No, they didn't. They held the warranty, and it would have been in warranty. They could have, if Toyota really wanted to push it, they could have argued that the 33-inch tires modification that are against their terms and conditions of warranty. Technically, Toyota have done that in the past, where people fit 34-inch tires to their car and like they blew a diff and they were like, or blew an axle, and they're like, "Nah, it's not on warranty because you added bigger tires." They could do that, but they didn't. So I'm glad they didn't do that. So yeah, but it's just real. It's just funny though when you get some journal artists, like journalists, who talk shit like that, and then like the rest of the country just like listens to him and is like, "You're an idiot." That's stock suspension. Like, you can't get aftermarket suspension yet. It's just come out. Like, I can't believe you didn't fact check yourself. Like, Jesus. And like, he's not an automotive specialist, I don't think. I'm not too sure, but I don't. Well, nah, he wouldn't be, because otherwise he would know that. Even an enthusiast, like just a random person, would know that. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, it's been real busy at work as well. There's been a lot of breakdowns. Quite a few blown motors.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Three blown motors in the span of a week. Only one got repaired. The other two, they couldn't justify getting it repaired, so they're removing it and taking it back, which is weird. No, actual four. No, three cars, blown motors that they didn't get repaired. They're towing it away instead, which I think is a bit waste of money, but whatever. Yeah. So it's been quite busy at work.
No, what has been going on at work? Just too much work. We need more people. Can't find them.
Yeah, we have enough work to keep us busy, so it's not so bad for us. The biggest problem is at the moment just getting parts in. Parts are getting really hard, especially like heavy machinery parts.
Yeah.
They're just taking months to get in. It's kind
Oh
of
wow, I didn't realize it was that bad.
Yeah, it is really bad. And Toyota's also been kind of a bit of a pain in the ass as well. At the moment, a lot of times we're quoting up parts. It's ex-Japan, which means that there's not enough parts in Australia from Japan. So they're having to get it directly from Japan instead of coming from, like, being ordered into Australia and just stockpiling here. Which I think is silly because, like I said, Toyota's like one of the most common sold cars here next to Ford Motors.
The other thing too is that we don't really have guitar. We don't really have car manufacturing in Australia, so it would make sense that it would make sense. You have either one of two options, right? Car manufacturing or stockpiling of spare parts. You can't have neither because it doesn't make any sense.
No.
You have these cars on the road. They're gonna need fixing. They're gonna need maintenance. If you don't have the parts for it, you're just gonna have like more and more. Ironically enough, you're probably gonna have more and more like cars in the dump and landfill and waste, and
Yeah,
it
I
makes
just
more
don't.
sense.
Yeah, I don't think Toyota bring enough parts into the country for the amount of cars on the road. They're not bringing enough parts. Which is oddly enough because Ford tend to. We never really have any issues with Fords not having parts, but you kind of expect them because they're more likely to break down. But yeah, Ford. Like the one thing I will give Ford, like a golden tick, is that they do listen to our consumers, and they will try and accommodate that. They accommodate our needs. They innovate and accommodate our needs. Like the Ford Rangers, even though I don't like them, you have to admit, like the fact that they come out with like diff locks, tow control, like tow pro controllers inbuilt, so then that way you can hook up to a caravan and it automatically works with the electronic braking system. They have Apple Play. They have heated seating, cooling seating. Yes, people want that. They have a pretty decent full drive capability. So like they do like make things to what people want and their needs. They know what their market is. Where Toyota just we made it in the 80s, so we'll just keep making it like that.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But
Yeah.
innovation is still important.
Yeah, but the problem is they're forced to. Toyota's forced to upscale their cars, like to bring up the cars to the standards of like modern enforced laws.
Right.
And that's where they always fall short. Like their DPF systems and their EGR systems and their blow by are just not up to snuff. Like, I don't know why, but Toyotas are just the dirtiest. Like, if you pull apart any Triton, oh no, Triton's pretty dirty. If you pull apart any Navara patrol, well, actual V8 patrols now or petrol, so that doesn't matter anyway. Navaras, Ford Rangers, Isuzus. If you pull apart the intake manifold on them, they're nowhere near as clogged as a Toyota Hilux or Toyota Land Cruiser. They are just dirty. They run really, really rich and dirty. Yeah. So that's why they always have issues with their DPF. If it's not so bad, like it's not bad at all if you drive it like it's designed to. Like they're designed to be a workhorse, so they're designed to be driven like long distances and stuff like that. You do that,
Yeah.
or even once a week go for a long drive. Do that, you won't have issues. But if you do lots of like city driving, which a lot of people buy them for, like parents buy them to drop their kids off to school and go to work, and they're only traveling like small amount of Ks. Yeah, they run into issues pretty quick. They're just not designed for that, but yet people buy them because they think they're reliable. But then their very essence of the way they use them isn't going to make them reliable. So that's where they don't sort of keep up the times because their engines sort of have run the same as what they always have, but now they've got all this extra shit. So I think that's why they fail. I think it's just speculation. So I don't know. But I do think the 79 series is overpriced for what it is. They charge like $80,000 for this car, and it hasn't, like, you can still reuse a door handle from 2000.
No.
So it's just like it's good in one sense because like there's so much parts. Like if worst comes to worst, you can use an older model part. But in some circumstances, like they do change things, but not a lot. But yeah, anyway, whatever. So, should probably call it quits then, eh?
Yeah, this was a good first stream.
Yeah, it was. And we should get on to Helldivers next. Yeah.
We should.
We should. All right. thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and others. It's been a blast. So thank you so much for tuning in and saying hello. We're not necessarily saying hello because no one said hello, but for lurking at least. We're going to try and find someone right now. Who can we find? Who is online? Anyone that I'm following?
Is Goobs on?
Goobs? Nah, Goobs
Yeah.
not on. I don't know what Goobs has been doing.
Yeah, I'm curious because her Discord's been like, I haven't really been paying attention, admittedly, but from what I've been able to see, Discord's been like, a bit rough lately.
Oh, really? What's going on?
Oh, it's just like absence
Oh,
mostly.
yeah. So I'm just trying to find people who to join in on. This person seems interesting. They haven't got many followers. So that'd be nice. But I think this is an ad. I'm not too sure what's going on here. Hang on, let me wait a little bit just to see whether this is an ad or whether this is their channel. Because if this is their channel, then definitely don't want to watch it. What the fuck are they watching? They're watching cooking shit. Yeah, let's watch
Cooking
it.
shit.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Oh, that's the wrong one. What's the command again? I've forgotten.
I don't know. I wouldn't have a clue. I think it's like raid / whatever channel you're trying to raid.
That's what I thought. It's not coming up.
Uh,
Yeah, hang on a minute.
there it is.
Wait, where is it?
No, never mind. I thought it was somebody else just typed it what the command was in the chat.
Nah, it was me. Oh man, it's been a while. I've forgotten how to raid.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. I feel so
You think
stupid.
they'd make it easier how to do that, wouldn't you? It's like a huge
it's the
part
other
of.
way around. It's this way.
Oh.
Yeah, I had the wrong way around. That's why. All right. Okay. Thank you very much for pitching in and saying hello. And we'll see you next time. Next week we'll come back online and yeah, we'll catch you later.
Talk to you then. Bye.
Bye.